Welcome to the What's Your Truth podcast, a show that not only showcases the best of independent artists, but also explores what inspires them, what drives them, and what they consider their fundamental purpose as an artist to be. With me today is Nick Rock. Nick is one beast of a drummer, and he's the namesake of writing and recording band The Rock Project. They just released their first single, All in Your Mind, and fun fact, yours truly penned the lyrics and laid down the vocals and lead guitars for the track. Only 24 years of age, Nick has already built up an extremely impressive gig resume, including playing the Monsters of Rock Cruise and the Cabo Wabo, as well as recording with the likes of Tesla guitarist Frank Hannon. With the pyrotechnics of 1,000 sticks of dynamite and the precision of an atomic clock, Nick is a true rising star in the music industry, and it's a pleasure to have him on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Rock.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All right. Well, shall we roll into it?
What to do it?
Outstanding. So my first question for you, Nick, is how did you decide that you wanted to become a musician?
Well, my whole family is most of my family is in the music business. There's always been music in my house my whole life. I've been going to concerts since I was a baby. There's been drums in my house my whole life. I've seen photos of me 1-year-old behind the drums. So, I've always been around music.
Right on, man. And then what was the first experience you remember having with music?
Well, when I was little, I used to I was the biggest Queen fan, and I used to play "We Will Rock You" in my high chair, doing the beat, stomping, clapping, but hitting the high chair. I remember that, and yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Good memory, man. Damn, dude. And then who are the biggest influences on your work and why?
Well, my first influence was Roger Taylor from Queen. That guy, he's such a good drummer. His background vocals are just incredible, the highs he can hit. Alex Van Halen, of course, from Van Halen. He's great. My probably biggest influence in my playing is Neil Peart from Rush. He could do anything. His styles, his grooves, everything he does is great. And Prairie Prince from the Tubes is also another big influence of mine.
Very cool. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Neil Peart. I think one thing people don't realize about him too is, as I recall, he also wrote all the music too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He wrote all the lyrics pretty much to every single song, as well as those amazing drum parts we all know.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, that guy was a monster, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And then what's the weirdest thing that's ever inspired you?
The weirdest thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't. That's a good one.
Yeah, I dug deep for these questions. Well, take a look. And if you don't think of anything, that's fine too. But, is there anything particularly that you would consider weird that inspired you?
Not really weird, but when you go on vacation, flying on a plane or at the beach or wherever, you can get inspired from music ideas doing traveling, Not really weird, but gives you good creative ideas.
Yeah, sure. And it's not like your everyday usual stuff, for sure. I can see that. And then how has your art influenced other people?
Well, I love playing music. It makes me happy, which, playing, brings joy to a lot of people. Music makes people happy, and I like making people happy with music.
That's awesome, man. That's actually really cool. And that's one of those common threads I've found with people that are that are true musicians, is that they're not just doing it for themselves. And that's really great. That's really important. Right. Yeah. And do you have any pre-show or pre-studio rituals?
I do usually, before shows and stuff, I usually do stretching to make sure my hands are all good to go, don't get cramps. And it depends, but I usually don't eat a ton before the show because I'm usually, focused and getting ready for the gig.
Yeah, well, none of that. I imagine as a drummer, drumming is a high-intensity sport in a lot of ways, isn't it?
It is. It's like you're running a marathon. You're using your legs, your arms. You're using core strength. You're using, everything on the kit. And a lot of people don't realize that, but drumming's a true workout.
Yeah, no, 100%, absolutely. Okay, cool. So now going a little deeper here, what risks, if any, have you personally taken for the sake of your music?
Just taking risks of, trying new sounds of music or contacting people to try and like get you out there more of your project, whatever you're doing, just try and build those connections and take risks with, contacts and get out there too.
Right on. Makes total sense. Absolutely. And what's the craziest risk you've ever seen another artist take for their craft?
There's a lot of things that could be, but I know some people, move out of state to, try and make it in music, do crazy stuff like that. And, you know, there's this local guy here from JT Lux, who also worked at Frank Hannon, and he just moved to Nashville recently to try and, do the music out there since, Nashville is where it's at out here right now. So he went out there and that's what he's doing. So that's pretty cool.
Right on. By the way, how sidetracking a little bit here, but how did you actually meet up with Frank Hannon and end up working with him? How did that happen?
Just the previous band I was in, we were just playing shows and gigging and just word of mouth and, got to Frank and Frank's like, oh, I like these guys. And he wanted to record it for us.
That's so awesome, man. Boy, what a compliment that must have been to get that kind of, have someone of that caliber want to work with you. I mean, that's huge.
Oh, it was totally so cool. I mean, going to his house, recording the album and everything. It was awesome. I mean, it was cool. We got the full experience.
I was gonna say that's the dream, huh?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah. So Nick, what is one thing about you that would shock everyone to know?
I mean, I could probably list a couple things if you want.
Fire away. We got time. Lay them out, man.
Well, I mean, I love to cook. I've cooked for years. I love cooking. Guy Fieri is a huge influence on me, and he was actually at the Cabo Wabo when I played down there for Sammy's birthday. He was there, and
oh no kidding.
Yeah, he was there. Guy Fieri wanted me to do a drum solo, and he kept calling me. The nickname he gave me was Vinnie Paul because he said that I reminded him of Vinnie Paul or Pantera. So he kept calling me Vinnie Paul. And one cool thing, not many people can say they had a shot of tequila dumped down their back from Guy Fieri. He was behind the drum riser watching me play, and he was all excited, and he was like jumping, and then he dropped his whole shot of tequila down my back.
Oh wow, that's a hell of a compliment too to be compared to Vinnie Paul. By the way, that's actually one of my favorite drummers of all time. I love.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but yeah, I love to cook. I cook some good food, as you've probably seen with some of my posts.
Sure.
I also I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I also play guitar. I play bass. I play piano, and I also sing some.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, so I could do it all.
I was gonna say you're a one-man band, man of many talents.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Absolutely. So what's the one thing or the one tool that you absolutely cannot live without as an artist, and why?
Ooh, well, nowadays I'd probably say it's my in-ear monitors. I mean, I just got them this past year and a half ago, and I mean, I can't do a show like without my in-ear monitors. They're so much better than using, a stage monitor next to you and stuff. In-ears, you can hear everything, crystal clear. You can get a good mix. I mean, in-ear monitors are the way to go. I can never go without them.
Hell yeah, not only that, but you don't have, and then you don't have all the feedback issues on monitors either, and all the stage volume issues and
right, exactly. Yeah,
that's. I am jealous. Yes, in-ears are on my list for this year to upgrade, for sure. Right on. And then what has been the most difficult piece of music for you to create, and why?
I don't know. I mean, every like project, I mean, could have its difficulties with it. You just got to, step up and work on it and get a feel for it and get it down. I mean, there hasn't really been something that's like too complicated. Like I can't do it. It's like, just gotta spend time with it and listen to it a bunch, work on it, and get it down.
No, it makes sense. Are there any in particular that stood out as being particularly difficult?
Well, I wouldn't say it's like an original song, but like, when I started playing Rush and stuff, I really wanted to learn it. And I just, listened to it a lot, listened to the isolated drum tracks that I could find, and just try and figure out the parts and working on them and getting them down the best I can.
Wow. Well, yeah, and I would qualify that. I mean, there's something to be said for taking somebody's drum part and recreating it, and then also kind of making it your own too. So that would absolutely answer that question. I love that. And then, okay, here's a fun question. If you were going to write a book about your career up to this point, what would you title it?
Let's make some noise, maybe. I don't know. Make some noise.
I dig that, man. That's great. That's a great answer. I actually love
Yeah,
that.
make some noise. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Okay, and a couple more questions here. What are your plans for world domination?
Just take it one step at a time and just keep making those connections and keep building the fan base up, building my resume up, and just keep it going.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for one foot in front of the other and one day at a time, isn't there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And then I have one last question, and just to revisit my introduction a little bit. So this show is, it's not only about showcasing artists, it is about exploring what inspires them, what drives them, and what they consider their fundamental purpose as an artist to be. So Nick, what's your truth?
My purpose is just to make people happy. I mean, I love playing music. It makes me happy. And, being on that stage, seeing the crowd and their faces, just enjoying the music, it just makes me smile, makes my heart happy seeing that and everything. It's just a good feeling.
That's so great, man. So true. Man, I can absolutely relate. That resonates so much with me. So hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
This was awesome. Thank you so much for being on. And before we do end off here, I did want to take 60 seconds and just, anything you want to plug, 60 seconds of everything Nick Rock. Go.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm in the Rock Project with you, Johnnie. I'm in a Cheap Trick tribute band called Cheap Trip. And we got some shows coming up, some theater shows around. That's going to be fun. I'm in this cool project. It's an instrumental. We'll call it Acid Dealer. It's kind of a mix because, I mean, one song is kind of jazzy. Another could be a little bluesy. Another could kind of sound like Black Sabbath. It's pretty cool. Another could be proggy. It's just a cool, fun instrumental band I'm in called Acid Dealer. We got some, songs coming out soon. So got some other stuff in the works too. Just trying to stay as busy as I can drumming.
Right on, man. Beautiful. Well, hey, again, thank you so much for being on the show again. It's been an absolute pleasure and getting an insight into the everything, the awesomeness that is Nick Rock. And guys, it's been the What's Your Truth podcast. Until next episode, we'll see you later.
Yeah, you follow your own rules and you preach them on to me, but you don't think before you act, and you ain't got no business with me. You don't know. Tell me what's your truth? Oh, what's your truth? Now you got down on